Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. And the chat room looks like we're doing some chatting. Andrea, Demazings, DK, Loose Donkey, Okie, Doug Boyle, Lenny from Long Island, SP Fan 6, Taco, Timothy Hooker, Unholy, White Sox, Al, Zelmo, and guest Florence. And still yet many more may come. Let's hope so. And let's enjoy our time together this morning. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. And what's sort of leading me off today is the fact what I read yesterday. And I want to talk about top end, and I want to talk about low end draft players today, okay? But some players were top end and now not so much. But I did read this and touched on already, but I just want to rehash a little bit here before I get going because this sort of leads into other things. And it's Giancarlo Stanton. Okay, remember Giancarlo Stanton. And remember last year he could hardly play, right? I mean, what, 12 games or something? I mean, it was incredible. But yesterday, as you've heard, Aaron Boone is saying that Stanton is now healthy. And he's playing in spring training games if we had any. If we had any games, he'd be playing now. Remember, he had that strained calf in late February. He was sidelined the entire springs. And so hearing this news from Boone is really encouraging. Remember, he has, in the last 2 of 3 seasons, now that includes last year, 2 of the last 3 seasons, he's played in at least 155 games, but not last year. Look at this, a career 93.4 mile per hour average exit velocity, a 48.5% hard hit rate, and now manager Aaron Boone is saying, good morning, Andrea. Aaron Boone is saying that he should be able to play and start the season. So, you look at draft boards and you see Giancarlo down there, not in the top 10, not in the top 20, not in the top 30. I had a draft Sunday night. This is no joke. I drafted Giancarlo Stanton, number 100. That's right, number 100 in my draft. Now, the downside. And you guys, I know there's downside with everybody. I could say Mike Trout has downside because he may not play 160 games. All right. Sure, there's downside, but every player has some downside. I look at upside when I draft, especially beyond round 5. When I get beyond round 5, I'm looking upside. I'm looking value. So let's just extrapolate here for a moment, and let's say Giancarlo does play a full season, even though this year's full season is not going to probably be a full season. What does that do for your fantasy team? It makes it freaking incredible is what it does. Because the pure power alone. Good morning, Donkey Okie. I see you in the chat room. The pure power alone and what he brings to the table. He's my 5th outfielder on my fantasy team I drafted Sunday night. Now, here's the key. Don't draft Stanton in your top 2-3 rounds. But where do you get him after that? Okay, first of all, you got to look at your league format. I don't even know what league format you're in. I'm just saying average draft position relative to where he's probably going in drafts, he's a real value. And so that's where I want to start off the show today. I want to talk about these top round picks. I want to talk about, are they good value? Are they not relative to other players? Who are you looking for? And let's talk about it. Also, I'm going to put something up on the board. Are you guys ready? You know I love to talk, okay? So why don't you guys give me a call? Let's talk about players you want to talk about. Let's talk about drafts you want to be in or are in. Because to me, I don't care if it's a full season, not a full season. Fantasy baseball, the most fun time for me is draft time. And I'm guessing there are still drafts yet to be performed, probably some delayed, some yet even to be started. And so I say let's talk it up. Let's see what's going on. Give me a call, 919-922-9093. I've got my phone ready to answer. All you have to do is call. I'll put you on the air. We'll have a little fun with this morning. And until you do, I've got material ready. So let's just move on. Let's talk about then the top of draft boards. And I'm not going to talk about Yelich's and Trout's and Acuna's, okay? Those guys are going to go early anyway, right? I mean, tell me a draft where Acuna, Trout, Yelich, Bellinger, tell me a draft where they're not in the first round. Okay, so you're not going to win or lose your draft, in my opinion, based upon your first round pick. It's those upper rounds after that. So let's talk about some players who are out there fairly early. And I want to start the conversation today with Trea Turner of the Washington Nationals, a shortstop. Now, as you've gone through drafts, you determine in your own league which positions are deeper. Shortstop's fairly deep up to a point. Okay? Up to a point. After you get past, say, Corey Seager or Tim Anderson, it drops off precipitously. The number 919-922-9093. And we're talking Trea Turner right now. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. I can pick Trea Turner up and run with him as I want. There's chat room chat about minor leagues. We'll talk about that a little bit too. I hope they don't cancel the minor league schedule. I'm so wanting some minor league games this year. Trea Turner, though, let's take a look. Turner, if you took away all of his steals, and that's a good number. Now, he's going to steal you 35 bases at least. Some project 40, some project 50. But if you take away all of his steals, you would still have a player who finished in the top 125 in either rotisserie or points-based leagues. How about that? How about that? So he begins the 2020 season at age 26. He may be a shaky second-round pick, but why is he a shaky second-round pick? Last year, why was he out? Because he hurt his finger. It wasn't a leg injury. It wasn't an ab injury. It wasn't a lat injury. It wasn't a shoulder injury. The kind of injuries that, really knock a player back. It was a finger injury, not even a wrist injury. He's going to bat at the top of the Washington National Order once again. He's going to put up numbers once again. The Nats go out and they draft, and here's the player I'm going to talk about at the bottom of a draft. They have a new number 3 hitter taking Rendon's place. They still have Juan Soto, who, in my opinion, here you go, chat room. In my opinion, I'd rather have Juan Soto than Ronald Acuna Jr. in fantasy. I know he's not going to steal the bases, but I know otherwise I love Soto. Consistency, maturity, and his spot in the batting order. As long as Acuna Jr. is batting leadoff for the Braves, he's not going to drive in the runs that Soto is. So there's your trade-off. And Soto's still going to steal you 10 to 15 bases. It's not like he's not going to steal at all, but he's going to drive in more runs. He's still going to score a bunch of runs. Acuna batting average not as good as Soto. I'm digressing. Get back to Trea Turner. At age 26, in the lineup, on the team, with the concepts they have, Trea Turner, to me, is a second-round value pick. Because he could very well be a first-round pick. Now, I want to compare him for a moment, chat room, podcasters, to Frankie Lindor. Remember, Turner's going to hit around 300. He's going to score around 100 runs. He's going to hit around 20 homers. Not drive in as much if he leads off, and he's going to still get at least 35 bags. So let's look at Frankie Lindor. Probably the top-ranked shortstops in most drafts. Lindor is going to hit around 280, less than Turner. He's going to score around 100 runs, less than Turner. He's going to hit about 30 home runs, maybe a little more than Turner. He's going to drive in around 70 to 80, maybe 90. I just don't think the Cleveland Indian lineup at the top is as strong. I don't think he's going to have as many people on base. And he's going to steal you around 25 bags. So comparing or contrasting Frankie Lindor to Trey Turner, if you're drafting Lindor in the first round, I don't think you're getting the same value that you're getting with Turner in the second. I think what I'm saying here is I wait on Lindor and I go and get Turner in the second round. Let's move it along. Again, I'm going to put my number up. You guys that are typing, hey, pick up your phones and let's give it a phone call. How about it? Let's put a voice with a name. All right? I got you ready. All you got to do is call. I'll answer. We'll put you on the air. We'll talk baseball. Here's another player at the opposite end of the draft, and let's stay with the national theme for a moment. What about Starlin Castro? I've noticed Castro over the last few weeks, ever since the announcement came out from his manager that he was going to bat in the 3-hole, have you noticed draft positions on average of Starlin Castro going up? Okay. So his strikeouts were down last year, 16%. He made good contact, 82.5% contact rate. Last year in Miami, he hit 270 with 22 homers and 86 RBIs. Now he's on a Nationals team where he's going to bat third. And have you checked out in front of Juan Soto after their shortstop, who I just praised, Trey Turner? Don't you just know that Starlin Castro is going to drive in a ton of runs? He's going to hit 20 to 25 bombs. That's what's going to happen. Where is his average draft position? When I checked him the other day, he was around 240. That is crazy. Okay, so this is the very reason I tell you guys, do your own draft boards. Do your own charts. Rank your own players. There's no way that Starlin Castro, batting third, playing second base, should be ranked 130 spots after Cavan Biggio of the Toronto Blue Jays. There's no way. It doesn't make sense. Look at the second baseman, ranking-wise, that rank ahead of Starlin Castro in most drafts. He's like almost dead last. I guess he ranks ahead of Jonathan Scope, who I think also could have a really good year. Scope's going to be the starting second baseman for Detroit. We know he's streaky. Okay, we know that. But we also know that Scope has a lot of power. We also know that he's going to have a lot of opportunity this year playing in Detroit. We just know that. Look at here. Here's the thing. Let's go through these second basemen. And I'm trying to point out to you this morning, this is a